ASI or online at higherasi.com.
Hey, you're back on Get Down to Business. I'm your host, Shalom Klein. We're powered by our good friends at Tandem HR, your solution center. Check them out online, tandemhr.com. Give them a call, 630-928-0510. This is a real treat. I'm thrilled to be joined by the CEO of Penthouse, the Magic Penthouse. I'm thrilled to be joined by Sin Ordu. Sin, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Shalom.
Absolutely. So, Sin, your story is a fantastic one. You and your business partner, Nick, you guys have a fantastic story, and I want to get into the Magic Penthouse and would love to get to know the people behind the Magic Penthouse. Sin, tell us a little bit about yourself.
For sure. So I actually moved to the U.S. just 4.5 years ago. I have a master's degree in business psychology. And I was working as a business psychologist, as a consultant, and I just happened to do magic as a passion on the side. And I've been performing for 16 years now. But then one day I just randomly went to a magic shop because that's what we do. On the weekends, we kind of, got to grab supplies like a deck of cards. And I run into this guy, and he looks at me and he says, you don't seem like an odd guy. You seem like a normal magician. Here's my card. We should hang out.
I'm sure you come across all types when you're hanging out in a magic store, right?
Exactly. That's kind of the point. There's some magicians out there who happen to be a little bit too geeky for us. So he just looked at me and with one look was like, "You seem to be a normal guy. We should hang out." And sure enough, I come meet him, and he was at the time he had a business, a custom suit business, in a penthouse. So I stopped by there, we hang out, and eventually we get to find our own business in that penthouse.
The Magic Penthouse. So the first show was in 2016, as you said, at the penthouse where Nick Roy worked, and the Magic Penthouse was born. So let's talk a little bit about what takes place at the Magic Penthouse. As you said, you're not the typical magicians. You are you put on a very, very high-class experience, and you've attracted a fantastic audience. The reviews are amazing. Sin, what's your secret?
I mean, the secret is pretty simple. When I moved here, I started looking at a whole bunch of magic shows because there is a lot in the U.S., and I was unhappy because I said, this is, magic can be more than linking rings or sawing women in half. That's like the 19th century magic that people are doing. And when Nick and I met at that beautiful space in the penthouse, I said, why don't we just throw a party, the kind of party we would want to attend as guests, and we just invite a whole bunch of magicians and see how that goes in a very relaxed atmosphere. And we started from what would a party look like if we want to go. So we said, we definitely want an open bar because I don't want to worry about money at the point. We want live music because that's just an elevated atmosphere. And then we said, we only want good magicians. We want intimate magic. We want secret spaces. And that's how the whole thing developed. And lucky enough, from the very first one that we just did kind of for his clients for free because we wanted to see how it goes, every single one after that we sold out. And that kind of creates a buzz around it when people realize this is something that's completely unique right now in the world, and they can't get tickets because it's always sold out.
Which is exciting. So you clearly are a believer in the element of magic, but also in a fantastic performance, and that's why you have been able to conduct countless corporate and private events for companies such as GE, Dunkin' Donuts, Zebra Technologies, Nestle, so many more examples. Why would a company come to the Magic Penthouse for their event? What is your sort of value-add proposition to the businesses that might be tuning in tonight?
Sure. So as a business, when you're throwing events, whether it's a holiday party or it's a customer appreciation event, you're not doing these events because you're burning money, because you have too much money. You're doing these events because you either want your employees to get more engaged or you want to connect with your customers. So we approach the whole topic from what is the goal from the company. And then we design the night around that. So we customize every event for our clients. That means when Dunkin' Donuts approached us and said we have a new espresso launch, we said, well, let's perform the whole night exclusively with coffee props. We performed with coffee, with sugar, with everything they could give us. We designed a 3-hour show for influencers just for them. And companies are always looking for the next big thing. And right now, I feel like there's a whole lot of the sameness out there.
Absolutely. This is a unique show.
Unique.
It's a unique show. It's a unique experience both for the businesses that might work with the Magic Penthouse, as well as for those that try to attend the shows. As you said, they're sold out, which is just amazing because, as you said, it hasn't been that long since you moved to Chicago from Germany. So we're going to squeeze in a quick break, but I'm curious. I know you're getting married, I believe, in about almost exactly a year from now to your lovely fiance. What will your wedding be like? Will magic be incorporated there as well?
Funny that you're asking. It's actually the only event that I'm doing where there is no magic allowed. My fiance was very specific about that.
Oh wow! That's going to be a story in itself. That the amazing Sin Ordu and does not put on a magic show at his wedding. That will be quite the story, and I'll be looking forward to following that. So Sin, as I said, we've got to squeeze in a quick break, but I do want to make sure that even before the break we share information on how people can find out about the shows, because I know they book up well in advance. What's the website?
Sure. The website is magicpenthouse.com, but as soon as you type in Magic Penthouse in Google, you will see all of our pages because of all the reviews. So you can't really not find us as long as you remember the name Magic Penthouse.
Magicpenthouse.com. And coming up after the break, we're going to continue our conversation with Sin Ordu, the CEO of the Magic Penthouse. We'll talk a little bit about his experiences in Chicago, talk about his experiences putting on these amazing, unique shows. I'll be right back and Get Down to Business, the show all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. You could get on my website, shalomklein.com, download past shows, and get a sneak peek of who will be on next week.
Did you miss the old
code Chicago?
Hey, we're back, and we are chatting with Sin Ordu, the CEO of the Magic Penthouse. Sin was just telling us a little bit about the shows, the unique experience filled with music, magic, an open bar. Lots of great stuff at the event. So, Sin, where do your shows take place?
So right now we're partnering with the Kimpton Palomar Hotel right in downtown Chicago, just because we needed to step up our game when it came to drinks and food and all of that. So we're really providing a luxury experience now on all levels, because that's a phenomenal luxury hotel. And we have a gorgeous space there with multiple rooms that we utilize every month.
That's exciting. So for those that are not quite, maybe not quite yet in the magic scene in Chicago, I know you talked about you meeting your partner. Unfortunately, you didn't scare him off and he didn't scare you off when you met a couple of years ago. What is the magic scene in Chicago like?
We have a great magic scene in Chicago, actually, and I highly recommend people to check out even more spaces than just the Magic Penthouse. There's the Magic Lounge up in Andersonville with really great rotating performers from all over the country. There's the Magic Parlor at the the Palmer Hotel with Dennis Watkins, great one-man show as well. So really multiple options to see great magic. Both of these locations are going to be a little bit more classic style of magic versus the Magic Penthouse. We're trying to push the envelope and see what can magic be in the 21st century.
It's cool, and I know it's a very intimate, up-close setting, which is unique. And the reason I'm so fascinated by this is we talk on this program all about business, and magic is not a common industry that we frequently feature on this program. So I know I'm already hearing from some of our listeners that are fascinated as much as I am, and that means that if you want to see one of these performances, you're going to have to plan well in advance. And it's a great experience for anybody, whether you are a business audience or just looking for an amazing evening out. So, Sin, I'm curious, how have you found Chicago in general? I know you moved here in 2015. I believe it was just around New Year's 2015.
Yep.
What has your experience been so far?
I mean, to me, the best city I could have ever asked for. It's just incredible, the amount of opportunity that's out there and the open-mindedness. I go to New York quite a lot and a couple other cities, and I just find Chicago, it doesn't matter who you meet, everyone just wants to sit down and have coffee and talk to you. And that's kind of how I build a network, and I was able to start a business without ever planning on it. just because the city brought me so much luck and so many great people.
Amen, my friend. That's right. That is the unique Chicago advantage, which is pretty cool. So, Sin, sort of putting the magic piece aside for a moment, you are the CEO of a business and a relatively new business. What advice do you have for those that might be tuning in that's looking, an entrepreneur, an aspiring entrepreneur that's looking to establish their business? Are there any mistakes that you made that perhaps you'd like to educate people on to make sure they don't do the same things, or any things that you've done right that you would recommend to others?
I mean, there's pretty much the two things that everyone always says, but no one really follows. One is we're horrible judges of opportunity, I think, just generally as humans. So whenever I go in a meeting and I think this is going to be the big breakthrough, it's not. But then when I go into a magic shop and I run into Nick Roy, and it changes my life. So the idea of just keep saying yes to everything that's kind of being offered to you, meet people for the weirdest things, even if they ask, and usually that's where life-changing things happen. So instead of thinking, oh, that's not worth my time, I feel like a lot of people are very stingy with their time, but really they should be just seizing the opportunity in everything, because you don't know who you're going to meet at that garden fest.
That's great advice, being open-minded. So, Sin Ordu, that music means that we are out of time. How can people, once again, get tickets and find out more about the Magic Penthouse?
For sure. I mean, next show is on October 11th, magicpenthouse.com, and if you want to book a holiday party, you better get on that quick, because we're about to be booked out for December.
That's right. Magicpenthouse.com. Sin Ordu, CEO of the Magic Penthouse. Thanks for joining us on the air. You're listening to Get Down to Business to Success. Let's get down to business. We'll talk to you next Sunday right here, 6 p.m.